What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're back again with another Monday Night Raw review, Christmas 2017, December 25th. And this show started off with the commercial-free first hour, which was not too bad. The first hour, basically the first 3 hours, all 3 hours, you had a good first hour, a horrible, horrendous, everything was just, what were they thinking, second hour. And then the third hour was not too bad, and nothing you want. Wasn't too bad. It was a good third hour. We do have new tag team champions in the end, which looks like we have a way for them to bring Dean Ambrose back, built up already. That it was a pretty good match to end the show with the most formulaic way to get two people who don't like each other to win tag team championships. They did it with MVP and Matt Hardy. They did it with Sheamus and Cesaro before they became the Bar. They did it with tonight as well with Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. These two don't really like each other. So what do? We go out, we have them go out and wrestle against the Bar, and they don't really can't stand each other because they last week, as they mentioned on commentary, they beat the crap out of each other in a singles match to see who can face Samoa Joe, which whatever. We had the return of John Cena, who was there for about 30 minutes and wasn't seen after that. We had more of a shoving us down our throats, the Women's Royal Rumble, which, what is so groundbreaking about this Women's Royal Rumble match? Is this the first time we've seen them in a Battle Royal? Because that's all the Royal Rumble is a stagnant Battle Royal. Instead of everyone being there at once, you have people come in one at a time after the first two. That's all the Royal Rumble is. This, raise your hands or, tell me in the comment section below any women's Battle Royal or, frankly, any Battle Royal in the last 5-6 years that has been good. I'll wait. That's right, exactly none. This match is going to be awful. This match is going to be just going to kill the concept. If they go with what normal women's battle royals rules are, where they don't have to go over the top rope, they just have to be thrown out of the ring, that kind of just ruins the whole concept anyway. But that is how things went tonight. We also had Hideo Itami in his first singles match against Brian Kendrick, where him and Jack Gallagher been this whole time. We haven't seen them in months on Monday Night Raw, and I don't watch 205 Live. We saw Slater pretty much get destroyed, manhandled and destroyed by Kane. Who cares? Mr. Raj got destroyed by Braun Strowman later in the night. Again, who cares? If this is the best you got for Brock Lesnar's challengers for the Royal Rumble before the Rumble, I'll pass. It was pointless and not needed, and I don't know why they did it. You had a rinse and repeat match between Absolution and Banks and Friends of Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James. You had Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt finally, after weeks and weeks, finally have a little bit of a confrontation in the middle of the ring, which I enjoyed. I hope we see more. I wish there would have been a little bit more, but they left us with a nice little tease of Matt and Bray Wyatt. We also had Finn Balor, of course, squashing another person just because WWE doesn't have anything to do with Finn Balor. We had Enzo and Nia Jax. I turned that off as soon as they did that because no matter if these guys were really into each other or if it was just a storyline thing, having people in the back try and be all flirtation stuff is awkward in any sense of the word. Roman versus Samoa Joe, and which was a really good match up until the finish, which turned out to be disappointing, which you can just tell they're bringing that to the Royal Rumble. It's going to be stretched out to the Royal Rumble. There is no doubt about that. And, of course, Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan versus The Bar closed the show, which was not a bad match at all. Again, the first hour of the show was commercial free with they said limited commercial interruptions, which there wasn't that many. The show, of course, started off with John Cena. John Cena coming out to, just be there because they were probably afraid nobody was going to watch Monday Night Raw. So let's have John Cena on the show. But he opened the show. Usually a guy like John Cena, they have him be the guy John Cena's going to be on the show, so come watch now and we'll build it up to later. But no, they had him actually start the show. He comes out and talks and leaves the ring immediately to do a little Make-A-Wish granting.
Who was wearing the wrong color hat and the wrong color shirt, and I'd like to gift him the right color hat and the right color shirt for Christmas.
John Cena just way over here in Chicago, which I love Chicago's crowd because they're just so rabid.
Literally giving the shirt off of his back to this young man. This is awesome.
Make-A-Wish Foundation kid.
That's what makes John Cena a champion right there, guys.
And on that note, Merry Christmas, Chicago!
Not too many times you actually get to hear Merry Christmas on a Monday Night Raw show because they don't ever do Christmas live. But this is and they pounded it in our heads over and over that this was the first time in ever that they were live on the USA Network for Christmas, which it is what it is. John Cena starts talking and then he gets interrupted by none other than Elias.
I love the holidays because the holidays is about togetherness. And no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I let everybody know that WWE is my home and you are my family.
And anybody who celebrated tonight, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah for all those who celebrate other holidays besides Christmas. Hope you all had yourself a wonderful Christmas. By the time you see this, it will be December 26th. But I would like to get that out there.
And like a typical family, we've had some ups, we've had some downs. So I just want to say cheers. Cheers to the good times, to the bad times, but cheers on a special day like today. I can look around and see us all be together. I couldn't think of a better place than right here, right now, to tell you.
Not who I expected to interrupt John Cena on this day. But not a bad thing in my opinion.
Merry Christmas, baby! It's Elias!
Please, whatever you...
John.
No, yeah. I just wanted to tell you.
Stop.
Then they go and do this thing back and forth with John tries to keep telling him something, but then Elias just keeps... It just got a little cringy right here.
Listen, man, I'm trying to help you out here. Please.
Hey.
No, just...
No.
This one
Stop.
Time. Don't just... Come on.
Stop.
You
know.
No.
John.
Of all the things to do, they had to do that little bit. John actually goes over and pulls Elias' stool up to put into the middle of the ring for him to do his performance.
Well, it's Christmas time in Chicago.
Not booing. They left it out here because, of course, they would. But before he started actually trying to sing CM Punk chant, 7 minutes into this show, we had a massive CM Punk chant. And before he even started performing here, more CM Punk chants. And he actually was talking about how he doesn't want to be interrupted. And he's sick of it because every time he comes out, he gets interrupted. CM Punk chants come out. He says, I know for damn sure CM Punk isn't going to interrupt me. John Cena tells him, well, it's Christmas. These guys are from Chicago. They were from Chicago, and they love the fellow Chicagoans. I can't say that right. And just let him have it. So Elias got a little rocked by the CM Punk chants tonight.
I couldn't imagine a worse place to spend my holiday.
No. Stop playing. Stop it. Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. You know, I was willing to give you a chance, man, and I was trying to tell you before you started playing your song not to say anything bad about Chicago. This isn't a bad place to spend the holidays. Look around you, man. People as far as the eye can see. They're dressed for the occasion. They're excited. They're making noise. They're chanting at the top of their lungs.
By the way, whoever that guy was in the front of the crowd on the hard camera on the side of the card game review, what were you dressed as? You look like a guy who was a Christmas bag or something. I have no idea.
And you actually play okay, but every single song you play, you get to a point where you call people in the audience jerks. No.
I feel like I speak the truth, you know? I speak the truth.
No, man, no. They're just trying to tell you how they feel. They're not the jerks. You're being a jerk. It's Christmas, it is.
Before they cut it out too, but Elias pretty much said, "I want to sing that song again if Chicago will give him a chance." And then of course Chicago, John Cena pretty much said, "This is Chicago, and they're a rabid crowd, so they don't give you many chances." And then he says this.
Hit it one more time.
For sure. For sure. Well, it's Christmas time in Chicago. Oh, it's Christmas Day. I can't imagine a better place to spend my holidays. Why don't you take it away, John? You feeling good?
So have yourself a merry little...
Punch to the face. Just a nice little punch to the face of John Cena. That was a beautiful shot by Elias. Just laying Cena out. Then he says Christmas is overhyped and overrated. Beats down on John Cena for a bit and then challenges John Cena to a match. Remember, this was commercial free, so there was not going to be any cuts to commercial, so we come back during the middle of a match. From the start of the bell, because the referee comes out and tells JoJo that this match is official. I don't know how, don't know why, don't care. But Elias starts with beating down on John Cena at the start of the match. Cena fights back and gets Elias into a headlock. You know, those nice little rest holds that they gotta have. Elias took this match over for the majority of this match. Double foot stomp to the ropes for a 2 count for Elias. Going for a second foot stomp off the rope. Missed John Cena with a clothesline. Both men start trading blows. Match pretty much, well, it was a good back and forth match. John Cena eventually... John Cena eventually wins the match. The match ended with Elias looking to pose. Cena wraps him up and gets a 2 count. Cena with the shoulder tackles, then hits his 5-knuckle shuffle, and then the AA for a 3 count, and that is your winner. We didn't have any commercials for the first hour, so what did they do to fill some time? Let's show a promo for Samoa Joe, which is not a bad thing in my opinion, but they showed a nice little promo. In the back, we had Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was in the back putting a bulb on his Christmas tree, even though I'm pretty sure he should have had those bulbs already on his Christmas tree. They do not have the clip for this. I don't know why, but they don't. Anyway, Angle's in the back putting decorations on the tree. In the back, Jordan and Rollins both come in. They both want a match with Samoa Joe. These two argue over they talk, and Kurt Angle's telling them, look, I know Samoa Joe is beating you guys down left and right and everything that happened last week, but if you guys want to go get to Samoa Joe, you're going to have to take on the Bar. Seth Rollins is against this from the beginning because he doesn't trust Jason Jordan after last week's match. Jason Jordan brings up the fact that he didn't get pinned last week. It was Seth Rollins. And he complains to Kurt Angle that he was once in the tag team and he broke away from that to come to Monday Night Raw. He doesn't want to take a step back. Seth Rollins says, you think I'm teaming with me is a step back. You know, the good old fashioned, we're gonna bicker because we don't want to be tag team champions. tag team partners. We just saw something like this with Sheamus and Cesaro at the end of 2015, 16, yeah, last year, 2016. We saw this last year when they were bickering back and forth and not liking the fact that they were tag team champions. So we did not, it was not even a year, it was a little over a year ago that we just saw something like this anyway. Then he makes a match, The Bar versus Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan for later in the night for the tag team titles, which makes these guys feel a little bit better about this, and they go off and walk away. In comes immediately after that Roman Reigns, who Kurt Angle says Samoa Joe is all yours tonight, and it's a title match. Roman Reigns whispers to him or something, says no problem, and those two matches are set for tonight. So we have two championship matches later in the show. I honestly think they should have made these part of the commercial-free hour, but I'm not going to leave them from there. We have Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher being interviewed in the middle of the ring, which, where have those two been? We have not seen them on Monday Night Raw since the Zo Train has taken over 205 Live. They've been like relegated to 205 Live for the majority of 2017. Well, the back half of 2017. It was Hideo Itami versus Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick pretty much said him and Gallagher heard so much about Hideo Itami and they need to find out for themselves if he's all worth the hype. Didn't really care about this match. It was just a typical strong. It was a strong style match from what I saw. Hideo Itami wins with the GTS, which before when he pulled his knee pad down to signal the GTS, big huge CM Punk chant. I'm surprised they actually let him hit the GTS in Chicago. When he first came to WWE, they didn't want him using the GTS due to the fact that it was like a year. It was like it was actually 6 or 7 months after CM Punk left. I'm pretty sure he came in 2014. Yeah, they didn't want the CM Punk chance to echo throughout the arena in NXT, so they kept him off from using the GTS for a while. So I found it really funny they had him hit the GTS in Chicago with being CM Punk was the guy who stole it from him, even though he gave him credit on his DVD that they did a couple years ago about who he got the move from. We get the first of what would be two recaps of the worst announcement of 2017 since Jinder Mahal was crowned the WWE Championship or was named #1 contender to the WWE Championship. Come at me. Yes, the Women's Royal Rumble is going to be a dumpster fire. Everyone knows it. Anybody who sits there and says they deserve this match, what exactly groundbreaking in this is there about this match? Really, somebody tell me this. I said at the top of this review, what is groundbreaking about this match? I don't know. And they're doing it, going about this all the wrong way. They're having people come out talk about, oh, this is all groundbreaking. This is awesome. I can't wait to see this match. This is what Stephanie said last week or the night before or 2 weeks ago. No, that's not the way you should be doing that, but that's the way they want to do it. It's going to be a dumpster fire, and when everybody sees how bad this match is, I mean, look, last year in 2016, what did they do? We had a women's Hell in a Cell match. Did we have one in 2017? No. You want to know why? Because the Hell in a Cell match in 2016 was so awful. I mean, yes, they could have put Natalya and Charlotte in the match, in the Hell in a Cell match, but they didn't. You know why? Because the 2016 Women's Hell in a Cell match was so awful. This 2018 Royal Rumble is going to fall flat on its face, and then Vince McMahon was like, well, we gave him a shot, and we're not doing it again. Plain and simple. It's not that big of a deal. If Stephanie wouldn't have came out last week and said anything about the Women's Royal Rumble, do you really think that anybody would be complaining that, oh, it's another year without a Women's Royal Rumble, when are they going to get their shots? They don't need it. I would take, and I hate to say it, but I would take an Elimination Chamber, which would be more groundbreaking than a Royal Rumble. We are probably going to get that Elimination Chamber because Raw has it, and we'll probably have the winner, the Women's Championship, if they do the Elimination Chamber, has to be on the line, and I think Paige will win it there because they've already pretty much put seeds in that it's going to be Paige and Asuka at WrestleMania for the women's title. You just got to get the title on Paige. So I'd say the Elimination Chamber is the best way to do it. If you want to do a women's elimination chamber match, I would be more for that because that's more groundbreaking than a women's Royal Rumble, which is just a stagnant battle royal. That's all it is. And if they change the rules, 20 women I'm not mad about because the first men's Royal Rumble, if anyone looks back at history, was 20 men. So it would just be the same way. You start out with 20 women, and then the next year, if you can get 10 more women in here, you would go with 10 women for 30 women for the next Royal Rumble, and so on. The first one's 20. You don't go and say, oh, we're gonna go full force. But if you have the women's Royal Rumble match being like any other battle royal that a women's royal battle royal is, they don't have to go to the top rope. They just have to go through to the outside. Then you might as well just scrap the match right now and just forget about it because it's just gonna make it worse. Every single divas or women's battle royal I have seen have been hot garbage. They're not good. Most battle royals anyway, men or women, are terrible as it is. No, I'm not being sexist. No, I'm not being like against women. I want to see the women get their just due, and they have. How much, like Stephanie said last week, that everything they've done up until this point is not enough. What else do they need? An elimination chamber? Fine. Stephanie's like, there was an interview she did a while ago where it's like, she said, they will truly arrive when there's a women's main event at WrestleMania. It will never happen as long as Vince McMahon's part of WWE. It will never happen. And if you want to build a women's main event at WrestleMania, you got a lot to do to build up the credibility of the women's division. Having the titles, the Raw Women's title change hands 9 times between 2 women last year was not helping. In 2016, well, the second half of 2016 and all of 2017 has been awful for the women on the main roster. NXT, not going to count that because they've been killing it every week, every month, the whole entire year. 2 different things. But for Raw and SmackDown, it has been awful. They have booked them horribly. So I don't see the women's Royal Rumble being any better than what you have for anything right now. Quite honestly, if they go through with it, and as they showed later on in the night, Asuka has to win this match. That's the only answer they could have. Only answer. After the first of what would be two showings of that awful promo, we in the back we see Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James walking down. They run into Dallas and Axel, who looked ridiculous. They were dressed with one wearing a Christmas present looking shirt, and the other one was wearing a Santa Claus. I think it was Dallas was wearing the Santa Claus, the green shirt with the Santa Claus on it. It looked absolutely ridiculous. They sang an awful Miz rendition of A Christmas Carol. I can't remember which one they sang. I honestly didn't care. Didn't really pay attention. All I know is they did this twice in the back and once in the ring before the match that they had later in the night. We'll get to that when we do. I was hoping that would be only all of the we would see for like Christmas themed stuff, but boy was I wrong, and boy was it just annoying. So we had Absolution versus Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James for the umpteenth time. I mean, house shows is one thing where you see the same match. Like, if you were to go follow them on the house shows, you would see the same match because you're in a different city, and the only people who see it are the people who were there and the people they post on social media too. The biggest problem with these factions of the Riot Squad and Absolution, they don't have anybody to feud with but the same 3 people or 2 people in the Riot Squad's case that they have. You have the Absolution versus Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James every single week. That's going to get tiresome. Then you have on SmackDown, Riot Squad are pretty much feuding with Naomi and Charlotte. How many times are we going to see that before people say, give us something fresh, give us something new? They brought all 5 of these women up and brought Paige back to freshen up the women's divisions on both shows. And they really haven't done that. They just pretty much added 6 more logs to the burning fire that is the women's division. So it needs to end. Pretty much the match breaks down at the end. All 6 women brawl. Bayley tosses Paige in, hits an apron stunner, where they go, where Paige is in through the middle rope and she just hooks her and pulls her with a stunner. that staggers her. She gets on top. She gets kicked in the Bailey gets kicked in the knee by Paige. Paige grabs her, hits her with the rampage while everyone else is distracted. 1, 2, 3, and your winners are absolution. Move on. They've beaten these guys. Let's move on and have them face somebody new or break these guys away to give us fresh matches. You can't just have. And oh yeah, by the way, during the beginning of this match or halfway through this match, Sonya Deville is on the outside. Sasha Banks goes outside to grab her. Sonya pops up and just levels Charlotte with this nasty looking clothesline. Of all the women in the WWE, Sasha Banks takes the most brutal hits and makes everything look like it hurts 10 times better, 10 times worse than it probably actually does. But she could sell a broom to you with how good she is at selling. But yes, that match is over. Hopefully that's the last time we see that. I doubt it because who does Absolution have left to face? You have what? Dana Brooke who's off with the catering crew. You have Alicia Fox, who just needs to go. She's awful too. You have Oscar, who's no, not that yet. That's going to come later down the line. They have nobody else. That's the problem with this faction of having these factions. There's not. If you're going to have the entire women's roster on one show on Raw and tag team on SmackDown, and like you had 15 or 20 women, it'd be fine because you would have 3 women. You would have them go against like the Riot Squad one week, or Charlotte, Becky, and whatever. You would have them go on one. Like they would have different matchups. Having this as it is, factions do not work because there's not enough women to sustain having a feud. You just can't have the Riot Squad versus Mickie James, Bayley, and Sasha Banks every single week. It's gonna get boring, and it already has. To me, it already has. Once is enough. Twice was enough. Was just starting to push it. 3 times is overkill. In the back, Renee Young. I wish they had this clip. I really wish they had this clip, but it doesn't look like they do. In the back, you had Renee Young talking to Samoa Joe. And she asked him if he had any remorse for injuring Dean Ambrose last week, which it says, they say 9 months. He could be out, but that, of course, is them embellishing that. WWE tends to embellish how long somebody's going to be out for. So when they do come back, it's like, oh my God, he's not supposed to be back for 9 months, and he's back in 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. Just wait for them to have that big pop. He says, after his consideration, no, he does not. Look at it this way. He gave Dean Ambrose the night off. He can spend time with his loved ones. To Dean Ambrose's wife. That's the funny thing. The look that Renee Young had on her face when Samoa Joe is saying this was priceless. I wish I had a picture of that look because that was priceless. She looks so mad and so it was just so hilarious. You had to have seen it for yourself. I wish they had in the clip for it, but they don't for some reason. He just pretty much goes on saying he's going to systematically destroy the Shield. He's going to become Intercontinental Champion tonight. And that was that. That was, of course, towards the end of the first hour. So we get to Kane is on his way into the ring in the back. And then we had our first commercial break because it was the 9:05 when Kane was heading out. Kane versus Heath Slater. I guess they had a little promo before the match where Heath Slater said his kids didn't get any Christmas presents today because Kurt Angle's pretty much threatened their jobs. Rhino said no, he didn't, and that Heath Slater needs to toughen up, and tonight was the first step in him toughening up Heath Slater. So yeah, let's put him against Kane. Match ended not too long after it started. Chokeslam by Kane for the 1, 2, 3. Who in the bloody hell cares? I don't, and I know you guys don't. Post-match, Kane comes back in, and Rhino's looking over Heath Slater, trying to, give him the smelling salts. Kane comes back in. Rhino actually gets some offense on Kane. Hits him with a running spear into the corner. Kane gets up. Rhino's in the position for the gore. Kane then turns around, grabs Rhino, hits him with the choke slam, and that was that. Then we had Kurt Hawkins issue an open challenge. Who answered that bell? Finn Balor. I don't know what they're doing with Kurt Hawkins in this so-called losing streak, which, yes, he has a losing streak. Yes, they made fun of it by saying that he used to win matches. He was a tag team champion. That was a long time ago, but he was. Finn Balor wins the match with the sling blade, kick, hesitation drop kick, screw de gras, 1, 2, 3, and that's that. They don't have anything else for Finn Balor, unfortunately. And then we go to the back and we have Dallas and Axel singing to Goldust about how things are doom and gloom for him. They hand him a copy of the Christmas, whatever the Miz movie DVD they gave him. They walk off. Goldust hands the DVD to Titus O'Neil. Titus is surprised that Goldust was so generous, and then Goldust comes up and does his little to him and freaks him out. That was that. Then we had one of the pretty good moments of the night. We had Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt cut a promo, but before, he cut a promo talking about how Sister Abigail didn't like this type of time of the year of this, pagan holidays, and a bunch of other things. And then at the end of his little promo, he says, "Chicago, I'm here." And finally, after weeks, we actually see Bray Wyatt come to the ring. I don't know what he's been doing. Maybe he's been sick from JoJo's cooking. I don't know. He comes to the ring, and you could just tell from the crowd. He blows it out. You can hear the crowd. And who's there but Matt Hardy? Woken Matt Hardy in the Woken Gin and everything. The elite chants all over.
These two have been going at it verbally as of late.
Matt goes for the twist of fate. And Bray Wyatt is out of there.
Mind games. Mind games, man.
You're right. There aren't too many superstars who can play mind games with Bray Wyatt and survive. Something's happened to Matt Hardy. He has snapped.
Really, Michael Cole? Really? Where have you been for the last 3 weeks? That's great deduction right there, Michael Cole, because we've all seen him be woken Matt Hardy for 3 weeks, and you're now thinking, oh my god, something's happened to Matt Hardy. He snapped. Can Michael Cole get off commentary, please? Matt grabs the mic and you think he's going to talk, and all we get is this. They're teasing us, though. They're teasing. Bray Wyatt just has that look. It's like, is this all you're gonna do? Then they do the nice little wokenness thing, like the little woken screen and broken glass, and that was that. So little tease there. It's about time that's happened. I'm hoping they hold that match off until the Royal Rumble. That's a pay-per-view quality match for sure. But a nice little tease there for Matt Hardy. In the back after that, we had Sheamus and Cesaro. Man, they were really killing it, not putting any clips from in the back on here. It's really surprising, other than a cut one or two. One I see, but in the back you had Sheamus and Cesaro. Can they please take the mouthpiece out of Cesaro's mouth when he talks? My goodness, it is annoying to hear that. Yes, I'm sure Vince McMahon finds it completely funny, because if it's funny to Vince, it's funny, goddammit! So I had to go there. But, they were sitting there exchanging gifts. Cesaro gets, Sheamus gives Cesaro Dean Ambrose missing one arm, which was funny, even though it was the wrong arm. Then Cesaro gives Sheamus Seth Rollins and a Jason Jordan one. Sheamus is happy and all giddy about the Seth Rollins one, but doesn't like the Jason Jordan one. He says, I didn't want this. And Cesaro says, well, neither does Seth Rollins, and Kurt Angle doesn't even want him as a son. They laugh and say Merry Christmas to each other, hug, and that was the end of that segment. Then came the Miracle on 34th Street fight. The six cruiserweight tag match between Enzo, Gulak, and Davari versus Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, and Akira Tozawa. Enzo came out looking like Santa Claus, and Gulak and Davari came out looking like his elves. So you know how that was. Nobody cared. This match, the entire time, absolutely nobody in the crowd cared. Nobody cared. This match was it was a dumpster fire. I didn't care. I really didn't care. Enzo did take a jab at Michael Cole, saying something to the effect of, I'm going to deliver you Cole, and that's not the Cole, unfortunate something with Cole, Michael Cole that we get every week. I thought it was funny. I wish I could remember exactly what he said. I didn't get to write it down right. Match ended with the Cruiserweight Championship will be on the line next week, so they want to make that a title match next week. Lumbar check by Cedric Alexander for the 1-2-3. Who really cares? So there's that. In the back, we had Enzo coming back after that match.
I can't wait for 2018. It's unbelievable.
How you doing?
Oh, that smile. That awkward smile. Crowd loves it though, but that awkward smile of hers.
How you doing?
I'm good. A little bit better than you.
No.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's been a rough day. But,
Then Enzo looks up and what happens to be over top of them. Mistletoe. You get a yes chant from the Chicago crowd.
well, what do we got?
I love
over
when they
here?
go to Chicago though, just because they have some of the best crowds in all of WWE. The Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, LA sometimes, depending on who's on the show. But they have those are the best crowds you can get. So you knew it was going to be a hot show, especially since it is Chicago. Chicago won't let go of the fact that CM Punk is no longer in WWE and probably won't be back anytime soon.
Mistletoe? A bit of mistletoe?
Yeah.
I think you know what that means.
I can't. That stuff's just getting more and more awkward. I can't just do it. All I know is I changed the channel to check out the Raiders and Eagles game when that happened on. I came back and she walked off disgusted at something. Do you care? No. Do I care? No. It keeps her away from the absolution problem, I guess. So there's that. Renee with Roman Reigns asking about Samoa Joe systematically destroying the Shield. He says he's crazy and says, one thing's for sure, you hurt one of my brothers, I'm going to hurt you too. And Merry Christmas to Renee, who seemed to take what he had to say a little bit more better than what Samoa Joe had to say. So there was that. We had Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship. Samoa Joe comes in, when Samoa Joe's music hits and he walks from behind the curtain, all you hear is Joe, 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 Joe from the Chicago crowd. Everybody wants to see Samoa Joe win the title tonight. This crowd would have lost their mind if he would have won this match tonight. Especially when he put Roman Reigns in the Coquina clutch and actually pulled him down and had him down to where it's like if he taps, he had him clutched and everything down on the mat. You're like, could he actually win? But of course no. But before that got broken, that hold got broken, Roman Reigns is looking, because he was close to the ropes, you knew he was going to break out. Roman Reigns is looking to try and get to the ropes. Samoa Joe changes the clutch a little bit, grabs Roman's arm, lifts his leg up, and pulls his leg and wraps it around Roman Reigns' arm for a minute, and Lee applies the clutch. That was a pretty cool move right there. Roman Reigns started this match out, though, by just going off. This match was definitely, from the beginning, started off differently than most Roman Reigns matches. It started off with Roman actually taking most of the offense and like giving most of the offense and beating down on Samoa Joe. A cheap shot by Joe, of course, and he started laying in the Roman. Match was a pretty good one, back and forth. We got a drive-by early on by Samoa Joe. The match pretty much came to the end. Samoa Joe runs into the barricade, like does a suicide dive into Roman Reigns, and he hit that barricade hard. It literally looked like he got like pretty much launched in. He got slammed so hard in that. And the only thing behind those plastic barricades or whatever, those foam or whatever barricades, is the metal that holds them up. So he like hit hard. His elbow looked like he was playing up. His elbow was injured, so they wanted to play up the fact that his elbow looked to be hurt. Samoa Joe brings him back into the ring, starts working on the injured arm of Roman Reigns. Roman gets out of that, starts pummeling Samoa Joe in the corner, mad as a mother, and just starts beating him down. Ref tries to pull him off. Roman Reigns shoves the referee away, gets DQ. Samoa Joe wins the match by DQ. Post-match, Roman gets up out of the ring and with his good elbow hits a jumping elbow shot, then throws Joe into the ring post, then picks up Joe and throws him into the next post. Then he goes and grabs the stairs and hits Samoa Joe a couple times. The first time he hits Samoa Joe, crowd wants it again. He hits him again. And I believe he hit him a third time. Joe is clutching his shoulder. Roman Reigns goes to grab a steel chair. Samoa Joe is towards the ring post, towards the end, towards the rampway. Roman Reigns comes over and winds up and wails towards Samoa Joe's arm. Samoa Joe got out of the way, luckily, and Samoa Joe gets off scotch-free, and Roman Reigns loses the match by DQ, but keeps the title. They are definitely pushing this towards the Royal Rumble, which is fine. I just hope when it gets to the Royal Rumble, we get a no disqualification match, because I think these two could tear it down that way. In the back, Seth Rollins is loving what he saw, the beat down. Jason Jordan comes in, says, Seth Rollins says, if you pretty much think we need, like, you're going to come in here and say, we need to put our differences aside to win this, like, to come out there and win the tag titles, save it. I already know how this is going to go. Jason Jordan pretty much said to the effect, I may not be Dean Ambrose, but he's pretty much said that he was a good replacement for Dean Ambrose, and that they're going to win this match. Seth Rollins says, you might be good, but you're not ever going to be Dean Ambrose. So there's two definitely not on the same page to a fault. Pretty much like I said earlier, formulaic way to get two guys who don't like each other on the same page, have them go out, wrestle the tag team champions, and most likely beat the tag team champions. The Miz Taraj is in the ring, they say they have a secret Santa match. They don't know who they're going to wrestle until he comes out there. They start singing, and then of course, who didn't see it coming but Braun Strowman came out. Braun Strowman just marches to the ring, 2-on-1 handicap match. He pretty much goes out and murders both of these guys. Running power slams to both of them. Running power slam to Bo Dallas for the 1-2-3. So after the match is just being stalked by Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman picks him up, hits him with a running power slam. Braun Strowman hears the chance of one more time, one more time, one more time. He hits them both again. And both of them, he hit Bo Dallas with the second one, and then just popped right up, grabs Curtis Axel, and hits him with another one. Then we had Alexa Bliss. Before we talk about that, again, is this all we got for these two? We have Braun Strowman and Kane just going out and squashing guys. Why? We could just have these guys sit in front of a camera and just cut promos for the next 5 weeks for all I care. But next week we'll have Brock Lesnar on the show, so I'm sure we'll have some confrontation between all three guys, like we did last week. Just make me care. Just make me care. Then we had Alexa Bliss come out talking about how she she's like Mary Blissmas to everybody, thinking about and just talking about how last week was one of the best moments she's ever seen, and she said, "You're welcome. You should thank me for everything that's happening. Why the Women's Royal Rumble is happening is because of me." Hey, they actually got the clip for this, so we can actually do this. Then Asuka would actually interrupt her, and it was a good one. Oh, crap. I don't have the volume on.
McMahon. I do have to say, undoubtedly, the moment of the year happened last week when Stephanie McMahon came out and said this.
You mean the moment of the year as in the worst moment of the year besides Jinder Mahal winning the WWE Championship? Then I would have to agree with you.
What do you say, ladies? You WrestleMania women.
Yeah. We know. Who cares?
You know, I've probably watched that 100 times and I still get cold chills.
They just gotta push this agenda of women have to have everything the men got. Why don't you have a woman win the WWE Championship while you're at it? That'd be something groundbreaking, more groundbreaking than what you're gonna have on January 28th. Yes, if a woman actually won the WWE Championship, yes, it would probably devalue the title, but that would be more groundbreaking than what they're doing on the January 28th. Just saying.
So I just want to say to all the women in the locker room, all of you out here, the WWE Universe at home, you're welcome. Because every cheer, every tear, every moment of excitement, yes, it's happening, it's historic, it's because of me. I'm the gift that keeps on giving, and every superstar that walks in my shadow, because believe me, there's a lot of them, I will be watching to see who wins this Women's Royal Rumble match, to see who my opponent...
The lights go out, and Asuka's mask is on Titantron. Asuka comes in the ring and gets a mic.
I'm entering the Women's Royal Rumble match.
As I said on SmackDown's review last week, why do the women have to come out and say they're going to enter the Royal Rumble match? There's not that many women on the main roster. Every single one of them, minus maybe the champions, which that's 2, and maybe 1 challenger each, there's not that many women. If they don't put a women's match that's a title match on this show, that pretty much is the entire Rumble right there. I just see it pointless. Like I said, if they would have a lot more women on the shows, it would make a little bit more sense. But yeah.
And I will win. Because nobody is ready for Asuka.
She just stares a hole right through Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss gets this scared look on her face I've never seen before from Alexa. I've never seen fear out of Alexa Bliss like I see in this little bit right here. And then Asuka with that sick smile, she's going to rip your head off. And the champ is up, and the champ is down. Nice little kick from Asuka to Alexa Bliss, leveling the champion, and Asuka's ready for the Royal Rumble.
Is it too soon to pick Asuka as the winner of the first Women's Royal Rumble match? Because she's my pick.
She's everybody's pick, probably. So, yes, if they're going to book this right, and what we've seen what they've done with the men's over the last 4 years or so, since Roman Reigns has been the guy they want to go with, the Royal Rumble matches have been booked so awful. So, do I expect them to book a pretty great first showing for the women? No, not at all. Not because they probably, if they were given the right booking, it could probably be a good match, but the way the men's Royal Rumble has been since 2014 and maybe 2013 and probably even 2012, They have been awful. The only thing that people look forward to in the men's Royal Rumble is what Kofi's going to do to keep himself in the Royal Rumble, and who's going to come back for a guest appearance. That's about it. The Royal Rumble has been nothing great over the last few years. So having this, and there's a rumor going around that Ronda Rousey is going to be there, which I don't think is going to happen because she has a movie she's taping, she's going to be taping or whatever you want to call it. She's going to be doing a movie shoot during that time, so there's no way she's going to be part of the Royal Rumble. So I'd say forget Ronda Rousey. Let's just get that out of there. I'll get to the men's in a minute. But this match is just going to be awful. It is. It's just going to be awful. But if you're going to book this right, you have to book Asuka to win this thing. I don't care if she starts out number one and just eliminate 1, 2, 3 women at a time over and over and over until she's the last woman standing. If you have to do that, then fine. If you want to make her number whatever it's going to be, 20 or 30, and have her go through like 5 or 6 women or 10 women who are still in the match, then of course there's going to be Nia Jax, who everyone's going to be like, she's going to come in when there's like 5 or 6 women in there, and they're all going to eliminate her, because the only way Nia Jax is not going to win the Women's Royal Rumble is if somebody comes in, like you have everybody there. It's going to be the Big Show or Braun Strowman or Kane or Great Khali factor. You have somebody who's twice the size of everybody else in the Royal Rumble, so everyone has to gang up and eliminate them. That's just how it works. Will it be a good match? Probably not. Just look at the Royal Rumble from 2016, 2017, 2015, 2013, and probably even 2012. When was the last time the Royal Rumble was good? I'd say maybe 2011, but that was actually, I think 2010, because the 2011 Rumble was the 40-man Rumble, which we all know that was a dumpster fire, and they only did it once, and was like, 30 was right, so we're not going to do it again. Then came the main event, which was a really short main event compared to like what we had. We had Jason Jordan, Seth Rollins versus The Bar, winners for the tag team championships. Not too it was so obvious that The Bar was going to lose this match. This was probably going to be the last time The Bar actually holds the tag team titles because of the spinal stenosis of Sheamus. I could see them building this to a Royal Rumble match between the two teams of Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins versus The Bar at the Rumble, and that's going to be Sheamus' last match, especially if the spinal stenosis gets any worse. Booker T, though, I gotta wonder, why is Booker T, what it gives, why is he always over Jason, like always verbally going after Jason Jordan? Will he play a part in this whole Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle father-son thing later on? I don't know. But for some reason, it's like every time Jason was on the apron, Seth Rollins was getting pinned. He's like, go help your partner. What are you doing? That's a mistake. You're supposed to go out and help your partner. Dean Ambrose wouldn't have did that. Why is he going like full force to make it known that he has a vendetta against Jason Jordan being in these big high profile matches? It's every single time. And then when he goes to help, when Seth Rollins is on the outside and Cesaro levels him on the outside, Jason Jordan comes out, levels Cesaro, Sheamus comes out and levels him, and he gets thrown into the barricade, so he's out for the majority of like the next part of the match, leaving Seth Rollins alone. During this time, like before this actually happened, there was a Irish Coast backbreaker that Seth Rollins reversed into a DDT. Beautiful spot right there. Just beautiful how he just went for an Irish Coast backbreaker. Seth Rollins flipped out a bit and rolled him around and hit him with a DDT. That was a great spot. So I don't know what the whole thing with Booker T is. Match comes to an end after Jason Jordan is the legal man. Seth Rollins comes around next, takes Sheamus out of the match as they were trying to do a double team move. They were double teaming, Sheamus and Cesaro was showing perfect double teams all night during this match. Cesaro, Sheamus gets taken out into the steel steps. Cesaro comes out, uppercuts Rollins, comes back inside, gets hit with Jason Jordan's finisher, which I don't know what they call it. 1, 2, 3, and your winners and your new tag team champions are Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. If they wanted a vehicle for Dean Ambrose to turn heel when he comes back, they just put it in motion. A lot of people thought last week that Dean Ambrose's heel injury was going to lead to his heel turn. No, but what they did tonight, I can see very much so seeing Dean Ambrose turn heel when he comes back by having the Revival, or the Revival is the only team I can see them doing this with, unless you turn Finn Balor heel and give him the club and they go on a tear, which the club versus the Shield would be a nice feud, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So, yes, we have new tag team champions. Will the reign last till WrestleMania? Probably not. I can see maybe the Fastlane pay-per-view. Oh, I'm sorry, not Fastlane, but the Elimination Chamber, if Dean Ambrose is ready. If Dean Ambrose is not healthy by then, I would say probably WrestleMania would probably be when it happens, maybe the night after. I don't know. They said 9 months tonight, which I doubt that highly, just how it works. They always embellish. Tell me the last superstar who was out for a long amount, like a extremely long amount of time, and actually was out. Like they say, it was out for like 9 months or 8 months or 7 months. I think maybe Seth Rollins, but that was it. They didn't like. I think they still embellished him too, but like a month. Now, before I go, there is rumors going around that John Cena will win the 2018 Royal Rumble. Are you kidding me? I don't care what Vince McMahon wants to do. I don't care what he wants John Cena to be, the 8 to 17 time champion. That doesn't have to happen this year. That doesn't have to happen at WrestleMania. Vince McMahon in the WWE has to stop relying on John Cena. If you don't give others a chance, like a Bobby Roode, like a Shinsuke Nakamura, like a Baron Corbin, like others, if you don't give them the chance to headline a WrestleMania, and you keep reaching into the cookie jar that is John Cena, what are you gonna do if John Cena goes and gets hit with a power bomb and he cracks his neck? What are you gonna do then? Huh? What are you gonna do then? You'll lose John Cena and everything else that you worked on for him. He'll be out of commission. He won't be able to wrestle again. He'll be just like Edge, Sting, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who can only come back for part-time appearances and not be able to wrestle. Why would you put John Cena? Why would you give John Cena this win? Oh, so he can tie Stone Cold Steve Austin? What, is he going to win the 2019 Royal Rumble too so he can pass Stone Cold Steve Austin? I don't get what Vince McMahon is thinking here, why he wants to do this. We don't need to see John Cena win the Royal Rumble. It makes absolutely no sense. He's been gone for most of the year. He was there till WrestleMania. He was gone. He didn't come back until around SummerSlam, until a few weeks before SummerSlam. Actually, he came back the month before SummerSlam. Wrestled at Battleground. That was an awful match with Rusev. Wrestled at SummerSlam. That was an awful match against Baron Corbin. That's partially John Cena's fault because John Cena can't lead a match. He didn't see him again. Well, yeah, he did come back the next night on Raw after SummerSlam to wrestle Roman Reigns at No Mercy, putting on some good shoot promos. Then he was gone, but oh yeah, he was on SmackDown Survivor Series team. He was gone after that until tonight. We won't see him again until probably the Royal Rumble. And oh yeah, he's a free agent, so he can do what he wants. Why? Are you going to give him the title? He'll probably lose it the next pay-per-view, and that's it. His 17th title reign will be 4 weeks long, if that. Why would you take that? We don't want to see John Cena versus AJ Styles. It was a good match. It was their match of the year. It wasn't my match of the year. My match of the year, of course, was for the main roster was AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. I separated WWE's main roster and NXT. They had their own match of the year, but that is what it is. So why do I want to see AJ Styles versus John Cena at WrestleMania? I want to see AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura or a heel Bobby Roode. And that's even if they and this is what's going to really aggravate me if they do this. According to Pro Wrestling Unlimited and other sources that I've seen, the Fastlane main event for SmackDown is supposed to be AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. No, Jinder Mahal is not in there, so that's a good thing. But they could take the title off of AJ at Fastlane, give it to Randy Orton, and we have John Cena, Randy Orton at WrestleMania. I guarantee you they'll put that match on. I guarantee you if they want to, they'll have John Cena beat Randy Orton to take the title, to get his 17th title reign. You know how bad Vince McMahon will look? You know how bad WWE will look if they make that match happen? AJ Styles deserves and has earned his keep in WWE to keep this title until WrestleMania or even after that. Plain and simple. I would not doubt it if they do that 5-way match at Fastlane that Randy Orton pins not AJ but Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn's in that match probably to eat the pin because he still has heat. But have Randy Orton win the WWE Championship and take it to WrestleMania so we can have that Randy Orton versus John Cena match that Vince McMahon loves oh so much. But that is the last Raw. We will be back tomorrow for the last SmackDown of 2017. And then the last NXT the day after that of 2017, where they actually care about what the fans want. They actually care. So we still have to trudge through tomorrow's show, which will be commercial free for the first hour. I will be back. My name is The France. Follow me on Twitter at The France. Follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. There has to be a 0 in there because some other clown has The France already, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I will see you guys next time, and have yourselves a wonderful day, afternoon, or night when you watch this, and I will see you guys tomorrow.